Welcome back. Are you excited to get your hands dirty with Lambda? Let's get started right now. I've opened up services, typed in Lambda, run code without thinking about servers. That's what Lambda is all about. Let's take that. It's taking a little while and we are on the Lambda screen. Now, what we want to do is we want to create a Lambda function. So let's go ahead and say create function. And what we would do is we would actually want to author it from scratch. So let's start with a simple hello world application, and I'll call this my Node.js Lambda. So I'll call it my Node.js Lambda, and let's use Node.js 12.x, which is the default option which is present in here. If you expand this list, you would see that there are a wide variety of other options which are supported. So you can use Go, Java, Python, Ruby, and go further down, you'd see that there are few more options. Different versions are also in here. So for now, let's use Node.js 12.x. It does not really matter if the latest version, when you see it is 13, you can go ahead and use it. And I would go ahead and say create function. It's taking a little while. Let's wait for a little while before the Lambda is there. Cool. The page is loading up slowly, and here we go. If I scroll down here, I can see that a Lambda function is created for me. You can see that there is a little bit of JavaScript code in here. If you are new to JavaScript, do not worry about it. All that you need to do is to do a test, and let's give it an event name. So I'll call this first event, and I'll say create. If you scroll up a little bit, I can use the first event and now do the test. So let's do a test. And now it says execution succeeded. The response coming back is status code 200 and the body is hello from Lambda. The amazing thing about this is think about how easy it is. I am not really worried about EC2 instances or load balancing or any of that kind. I wrote a REST API and we are immediately able to execute it without worrying about where it is deployed and all that stuff. And that's the power of serverless. Over here, you can see more details about the request. You can see how much duration it took, and you can see that you are built for 100 milliseconds for this specific request. You can see that for this specific thing, 128 MB was allocated, and we are making use of 62 MB. And you can also see the logs corresponding to that in here. Now, where is this response coming from? Status code 200, body hello from Lambda. It's coming in from here. So you can see that the response is hard-coded in here, status code 200. Body is json.stringify. So this creates a JSON from this specific text message. So instead of saying hello from Lambda, I would say my first Lambda function. And let's do a save and let's do a test. Let's see the output. You can see my first Lambda function. Over here, I'll actually add in a little bit of code. So in JavaScript, you can do a console.log to log something to the log. So I'll say console.log event. So event is basically the request. Whatever data we are sending in is the event, and we are logging the details of that, and we are sending the response back. Let's do a save. And let's do a test again. Let's see the logs. You can see that this is printed in here. It's saying info key 1 value 1, key 2 value 2. So this is the details which are present in the event. Whatever information which we are putting in the test. So you can go here and say configure test events. You can see that this is the event which we have configured in. So if you actually change the data which is coming in, so let's say key 4, and let's save it. And if you go ahead and test it using that, you would see that the log would contain, what does it contain? Key 4. The UI is acting a little crazy right now, so let me close this out. what I've done is I've switched over to Chrome, and let's see if it works better in here. Over here, what I'll do is scroll down. Over here, you can see environment variables. You can actually manage the environment variables with this function. So you might want to connect to a different database in a different environment. Your dev database would be different from a test QA database, and so on and so forth. So all those stuff can be configured as environment variables. For example, let me just add in an environment variable. I'll say add environment variable, and I'll add environment variable saying environment. So the current environment, I'll say it's dev. Before I save this, I'll actually click the learn more in here, where you can actually find more details about the environment variables which are made available. So I'll click this and open this in here, and you'd see that there are a lot of pre-built environment variables which are made available by Lambda. So let's play with some of them. Let's quickly scroll down in here, and you can see different languages how you can access the environment variables. In Node.js, the way we can access it by process.env.aws_region. So you can access the region. If you go little down, you can see that you can access the execution environment, you can access the function name, you can access how much memory is been assigned to it, which version of the function are we running right now, and a lot of other details. So let's just take the default process.env.region. I've copied this out, and let's go to the Lambda function. Let's save this environment variable out for now. We have configured an environment variable of dev. We'll use it very soon. For now, what I'll do is I'll say plus. In JavaScript, you can do a plus to append, and I can say command V. So my first Lambda function from which region? From that specific region. I'll do a save, and let's do a test again. Let's see what would happen. I have to scroll up, go to the details, and you can see my first Lambda function from AP South1. That's cool. Now, you can also use other variables. You can, let's say, from which execution environment. So you can do a save, and you can do a test. Which execution environment are we in right now? We are in Node.js 12x execution environment. So similar to that, you can get the function name, function memory size, function version. So you can look at the documentation for all the environment variables which are supported. What I'm really interested in is using the environment variable which we have configured. So where is the environment variable that we configured? Environment, right? So I would want to see a value of dev. So the way you can use that is process.env.environment. I mean, this is basically the JavaScript syntax. If I would want to know how to do that in Java, all that you need to do is go here. Java is basically system.get.env and do AWS_region. So that's how you get the value. Let's go ahead and save this. I've changed the variable name to environment now. Save and test. You can see my first Lambda function from dev. You can make thousands, actually millions of requests to your Lambda functions, and the Lambda function would automatically scale to meet all your needs. In this step, we got a quick introduction to Lambdas. We'll continue to play with Lambda functions in the next step. I'll see you there.